At the moment, there is so much cash around, with the governments printing money like crazy. The US is spending trillions. There was a thing in the Wall Street Journal yesterday where banks are saying to their business customers, we don't want your deposits. So there's lots of money. There's funds starting up all the time. I mean, what are the challenges in startup world at the moment, do you think?
It's just got to be how easy it is. Now, that sounds crazy that it's a challenge, because when I started Anthill magazine 18 years ago, it was expensive, and I was doing things that were real bootstrapping strategies at the time, but it was still expensive. I mean, like every edition of the magazine was going to set me back $100,000, which means that if I wanted to get a magazine out, I had to make sure that I was generating $100,000, because I didn't come from family wealth or have a big war chest to run with. Now you look at, the people that have come since then, and there's this fairly remarkable young man called Nathan Chan, and he runs a business called Founder, which kicked off as a digital entrepreneur magazine, FOUNDR. And when he started, he invited me out for lunch, and the cheapskate took me to Nando's. But he was was the typical cash-strapped entrepreneur. Now he's doing multiple seven figures, and he's done it in a remarkably short amount of time, because he didn't have to launch. I had to raise venture capital, not venture capital, something like seed capital. After about, I think, the third or fourth edition, I went out and raised money. It was a complex exercise. Now you have a look at the cost of entry, and you throw in those elements, like the opportunity to get a redundancy package. So I know, for example, at the moment, I think that the Victorian state government is about to roll something out called job skills, and they're paying people $3,000 to spend on their education so that they can become more resilient in a changing landscape and workforce and start their own business. $3,000, you could start a business these days. You can start a business with less than $1,000, So I think that the bigger challenge is not to do with access to capital. There is definitely a valley of death, which means that it's really easy to get started. It's probably difficult to raise that 300,000 to 2 million, and then it's easy again. So there's definitely, when it comes to raising capital, there's this valley of death, which is really, really difficult to get out of. But I think that the biggest challenge is two challenges, I think. One is it is so easy. And the other thing is the absolute extreme proliferation of options. So it's really hard to sometimes sort through all the different voices that are out there and work out what set of steps are going to get you to your destination in the least amount of time for the least amount of cost, because the options are so vast.